Good morning, my gorgeous kids. Well, I didn't say last time, did I? But Fred found his keys. He'd left them in his top pocket. Now, I also told you before that Cheesy liked to live in his pocket here. And with Charlie on his top, Cheesy decided, because Fred's beard was big, went into his beard. So when they were driving the tractor, Charlie would be on his shoulder and Cheesy would be looking out through his beard, and everything was fine. Now, mice, in order to communicate with their families, who can be all over the place, as you know, some mice live in cities, some mice live in towns, and some mice live in the country. They use blackbirds. And what they do is they pick worms, give them to the blackbird and say, "Would you mind taking me to see my friend?" And the mice jump on the blackbird's back and away they fly. Or sometimes they give the blackbird a message. And because mice can read blackbird language, so when the blackbird goes, beep, 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 Charlie says, "Thank you very much and have a nice day." Dave says, "Thank you very much." Anyway, the mice in the barn got a message that they were going to get a visitor from one of the city mice who lived in Leeds. Didn't just live in Leeds, he lived in the bus depot with his family. Now that sounds all right, living in a bus depot where all the buses are parked up overnight. But these mice lived on the bus, not around the bus. And if ever you sit on a bus and look on the back seat, there's always little gaps. And that's where they go. In the little gaps, near the engine compartment. And when the bus is parked up for the night, before the cleaners come in, they dash out and see what people have left. Sometimes an apple core, sometimes a cherry that they didn't think was quite right, sometimes crisps, sometimes chips, sometimes people drop McDonald's. But they like the bread and the pickle, but not the meat now. Anyway, so one of the mice was coming to visit. Now, how was it going to get there? Well, the X84 runs from Leeds all the way to Otley, and then sometimes it goes to Ilkley and sometimes it goes to Skipton. And the little mouse was going to go to Otley, and then when it packed up, get out and see one of the blackbirds and get a lift. So sure enough, the little mouse got on the X84 and it parked up, and out he ran through the little doors, because he could, if you look at bus doors along the bottom, there's little whiskers, and he could climb under there. And the blackbird was waiting because he'd been asked to wait for him. He'd been singing on top of the church tower, and he flew down when it went bong, 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 6 o'clock. Birds can count as well. And there was the little mouse, whose name was Derek, hopped on his back, and away they flew to Fred's farm. Now that night they had such a party. They'd not seen him for a long, long time. And there was acorns, some cheese, and Cheesy had said to Charlie, "Would you like to come and join us?" So Charlie opened the cage, took little Cheesy out, and away they went into the barn. And he bought a sack of the little mouse, and inside was things he'd found on the bus 2 or 3 days before. There were some slightly underripe cherries, but now they were ripe. There was a bit of banana skin, which Charlie really enjoyed, and they had a lovely time. Now, what were they drinking? I think they made some buttercup wine. Mice like buttercup wine because it's nice and sweet. And even Charlie had buttercup wine, and a monkey not supposed to drink buttercup wine because he drank too much and got a bit squiffy. But Charlie then did a dance. and there was music playing, and everybody had a wonderful time. But the next morning, the buttercup wine, oh, all the little mice had throbbing headaches. And Charlie had an headache too. But that's enough for now. Catch you later. Love you all. God bless.